Hey guys, I'm just waiting on Liliya to connect and then we'll be able to get started. Hey guys, I'm just waiting for Liliya to come on.
Yeah. All right, cool.
We'll give it a few more minutes, but she should be on soon.
She's in the office, so she should be on.
Good morning, y'all. I'm gonna be the cheap entertainment until Liliya gets here. I think I see her coming. Hey, Grace, I love you here.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, I'm looking for. Okay, so
Happy to see you, Miss Catherine. Good morning.
oh, thank you guys. I'm so happy to be back. So I'm gonna read something that Arthur sent me this morning. It's like, happy, magnificent, magical, money-making Monday to all of you. I am so happy to be back in the office. Yeah, head staying away. Everybody doing okay?
Yes, thanks. Yep.
All right, cool. I know Liliya is here in the office, so in a minute I'm gonna run upstairs and say, hey, we're waiting for you.
Setting.
All right. I'm gonna hey off.
Take off private account. So hello, is it the connection? I can't hear anything.
Me either. I think maybe Miss Catherine got disconnected.
I can hear y'all,
She is.
but somebody did.
No, there she is.
I'm not disconnected. I'm gonna run upstairs and see what's going on with Lily. I'll be back.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, Amani's on though, you guys.
Okay. Hey, Imani.
Hi.
Hi. Say, I say hi to everyone. Say hi.
Oh, how cute.
Cute doggy. What happened to the other doggy?
She
You have
passed
two-
away and she passed away in September, Grace. She had
Oh,
cancer.
oh,
So
sweet.
I've had Bella for a month.
I saw when you went, you posted a picture when you went to pick her up. Oh, she's
Oh
cutie.
yeah, when I went to Louisiana to get her. She's so, oh my gosh, she's a handful.
Oh,
You been okay?
yeah, someone's trying to call me. Mm-hmm. Yes, I've been, the usual stresses and getting there.
Yes,
Getting-
I know.
You
That's right.
Well, nice to see you though.
It's
Michelle,
nice to see you too. I miss being able to come to the office and see everybody. Oh my God, I'm so tired of just being in the house.
Mm. We'll get there.
Yeah,
I did start going back and then it closed again. So
I know. I was there like the day to, yeah, that Friday, and then we got the message Monday that it was closed down, and I'm like, oh my God.
never mind. Life
Yeah.
happens. We shall get up
Yeah,
and
yeah.
start again.
Yeah. Are you going to get the vaccination?
I was thinking about not doing it, but now I'm thinking about doing it.
Yeah, I had said definitely not. And now I'm like, look, I
Yeah.
need to live.
Uh-huh. Okay, they're back. They're back. Everybody's back.
Yeah, she's coming. She had this clock in her office that is so off. So she thought she had time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she's signing on right now. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna let her introduce herself, but just so to give you guys some background on Liliya, she is consistently, oh, there she is. Hi, Lily. She's consistently one of the top, I would say 10%, actually, maybe 1% in the office. And I watch her, what? I watch her build her business by using the NACA program. And she's going to tell you, she kind of stumbled onto this program because it was a time like this. And she had a set of family that all wanted to be together. And she had to find a way to do it. So Lily is like my little sister from another mister. That's how cool she is. She is definitely the NACA queen. She has helped how many, Lily? Over maybe 300 families use the program. And you are on mute. You're on mute.
I'm sorry. All right. Hello, everybody. I'm sorry for making you wait. NACA is interesting thing. It's like kids, when you're surrounded with kids, you get attached to it, and then every parent will decide to send their kids to you too. When I started working with NACA, NACA was the only choice for my first big group of clients, which was immigrants from Turkey and Russia. And for them, it was no way to buy through any other program because they had no credit score, they had very low income, they had not much money in the bank, and but they have good jobs. They had persistent, consistent jobs. And we as real estate agents, we have just one goal. Our goal is for buyers to buy and to help them to buy, and for sellers to help them to sell. So we'll have to find a way to serve our clients. There are some stuff that is common, that is in our life for 90% of the time, but there are this 10% of the time when we cannot satisfy people's needs. It is a time when we start looking around, when we start searching for the alternative stuff. NACA is an alternative stuff for multiple people, multiple families, at least in my clientele. And I found more and more possibilities to help other people when they have difficult situations. When we're talking about NACA, NACA is a program that will help people with not standard situation. I hope you can see my screen. When people come to you and they say, I don't have much money to buy for down payment, and I don't have good credit score, but I really don't like to rent. This is a time when you start thinking outside of the box, and one of the chances that you can offer for your clients, it would be either down payment assistance programs or something like NACA, unless your client is military and they don't really need to have down payment money. But there are unfortunately not that many people who is qualified for that. So NACA is advertising themselves as 4 zeros. They do not require down payment. Even though you don't put any down payment, they do not have mortgage insurance. They paying for closing for you, but also they do not require for the buyer to have a credit score, which means that person could have a 0 credit score or a 700 or 900 credit score. They do not discriminate against any credit score. NACA has below market interest rate most of the time. And every time when you log into naka.com and aca.com, it is a website that posting every day at 10 o'clock changing interest rate. And this interest rate would apply to anybody who is qualified at the same day, who has a contract ready to lock a rate at the same day, despite of credit score, despite of down payment. When we're talking about closing cost, as we know, closing cost has multiple, I would say at least 4 different components. We have to pay for lender services, we have to pay for the legal services, we have to pay for government fees and prepay items. So when NACA is saying no closing cost, they do not mean that you have to have no money for to bring to the table. They just mean that they paying for cost to close, but they do not cover buyers' prepay items. And I'm always emphasizing it because when people see no closing cost, their mind is start thinking, oh, okay, I don't need any money in my pocket and I can go ahead and buy. Not really. When we're talking about financing, we're always talking about different options for terms, and NACA is fixed rate only, which is either 30 years or 15 years of fixed rate. And for 30 years fixed rate today, the rate is 2.875, and for 15, 2.125. When we see these numbers at the regular bank, when it is posted, the buyers, specific buyers' interest rate would depend on a credit score, which would go up and only up from the point that it was advertised. However, with NACA, if you have money in your pocket and you don't want to put money as a down payment, which you could, it is up to you or your basically your buyer, you can prepay interest rate, and you can prepay it upfront as low as you can live at 0.125 if you qualified. And if you qualified, it is basically depends on your income, on your client's income. When we're talking about qualifying income, NACA is census-based medium level income. So when we saying census-based, it is changing every year. Every year, somewhere end of July, beginning of August, census is posting what is a medium income for this year. And the way we can find it, we can go to the census website to see who is qualified. And let me see. And it will be based on a map. When we on the map, let's say we put in 3730 Roswell Road, Marietta, Georgia.
Can you share your screen, please?
Okay, I thought I did.
It is.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can.
she is
I can
sharing her
see you.
screen.
Yeah,
Well,
it
wait,
says,
where are
I
you
can
putting
see-
the address?
oh, there
Can you
you
see
go.
it now?
Oh, I see it now.
Okay.
Yep,
So
perfect.
3730 Roswell Road, Marietta. Search. And we can see this red line. So all numbers here would be for 2021 because 2020, I mean for 2020, for 2021 census is not available yet. So if I'm changing it to 2020 and I'm clicking at any spot on the map, it is bringing up this little window and you have to look at the percentage. And this is the number for this particular spot on the map. Map is completely irregular shape. So we cannot say it is squares, it is rectangles, but we have to follow the map. So in order for me to find out if what is the census for this year, it is 2020 estimated median family income. So it is 82,200. The way NACA is qualifying, they're saying if you are if you are census for 100% census, which is 82,200, by and before it changing in August, you can buy, oh, 1 second. You can buy anywhere if your income is less than 82,200. Per year per household for a family. You can buy anywhere in Georgia. But if your income is above this number, then you need to find a spot on the map which would be below 100% of this number. So our office is located in 166% of census. I'm just randomly spotting 172.27. If I want to go to, let's say, closer to downtown, it is 119. 118. So literally you have to click spot where your client can buy if his income above 100% of census. So answering the question who it is NACA is most beneficial, it is for people who is less than 100% of census. Next question usually I'm getting, how does NACA calculating how much people can afford? And one of the NACA's difference compared to regular bank is that NACA is not qualifying your client on a purchase price. NACA is qualifying on a monthly payment. And for monthly payment, we're talking about payment that will include, can you see this NACA screen again?
Yes.
Payments that will include everything. And on the bottom of the NACA website, you have this calculator. And by saying everything, it would be principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and HOA. So for instance, your client is qualified for, I don't know, a monthly payment of 1,500. You can go to this calculator and put with zero principal reduction, which is in regular language down payment, for 30 years with today's interest rate at 2.875, zero that they prepay an interest, zero buy down, a tax rate area of 12%, and 12% is per thousand, and 12% is located in, let's say, Fulton County. Fulton County is 12%. Cobb County is 11%. Let's say house is relatively fresh, monthly insurance is $100. And HOA, let's say $40 per month. So they can afford $268,985. If your clients were planning to put 3% down payment, and in order to put 3% down payment, they can save this money, but they will reduce interest rate with 3%, which NACA call 3 points, by 0.75 of interest. So 2.125 interest rate will bring your client from 268,000 to 291,000. If let's say, and it will cost them $8,000. Just for demonstration, I would put this $8,000 instead of interest rate reduction to principal reduction. So it went just less than 10,000 up on the purchasability. But if we're using it as a interest rate buy down, we are getting a lot more for the dollar invested, but at the same time, monthly payment did not change. The way they're calculating interest rate buy downs is each quarter of the interest cost 1% of the purchase price. So if I'm planning to put down 3%, it is 3 quarters, which is 0.75 of interest. And it is how we came from 2.875 to 2.125. It is a big advantage for people. I understand that money is money, and to put 8,000 or 8,500 out of pocket for interest rate without changing purchase price, it is not really sounds good. But if you think about prepay MI on FHA mortgage, which is completely no benefit to the buyer, it is giving a lot more advantage to the buyer. Usually people who does not qualify for conventional loan go to FHA loan, which means that either people have worse credit score than required for conventional loan, or they have not much money, like a 5% down payment. But NACA, as I said, do not qualify based on the interest on the credit score, so it is possibility of alternative. Most of the time I'm getting a question, it sounds too good to be true. And based on my experience, it is true. I have people who live in NACA houses, which means purchased through NACA program for over 10 years, 15 years. And person who I start working with NACA was NACA counselor. She and her family lived in NACA purchase house for 30 years. Prior to me introducing my clients to this program, I talked to that person and she was NACA counselor. So it was quite reliable source of information. Any questions?
Do you get this through a lender, or you work directly with NACA once you find a client that may qualify?
NACA is a qualifying agency. They do not have their own money to lend. They're qualifying people for how much they can buy, but Bank of America, special division of the Bank of America, giving people money. NACA opened doors in 1986. It was a lawsuit when Bruce Marks, NACA's founder, was suing banks against discrimination for blue collar. This is Bruce Marks, a bald guy on a picture, not this one. He just disappeared. Yeah, here it is. He was suing banks against discrimination for blue collar, for immigrants, for people with not stable jobs, having no job security. And he won that lawsuit. As a result of the lawsuit, he was awarded $12 billion. And those money were supposed to be used for establishing NACA as Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America program. It is a nonprofit organization. With being NACA nonprofit organization, they have now their money to lend. But as him being a lawyer, he was granted the right to write a special set of rules how NACA will qualify people. And these 4 zeros, there are 0 credit score, 0 mortgage insurance, 0 down payment, and 0 closing costs. They are one of the main stones of the NACA program. When, as a result of the lawsuit, they also had a special division formed with Citibank and Bank of America. Citibank was supposed to work with people who has no social security number, and Bank of America with everybody else who has social security, who has green card or United States citizen, everybody else. So with it has been a separate division of the banks. If you would walk in any day to the Bank of America and ask about NACA program, even loan officers for Bank of America, they have no idea that NACA exists. It's sad, but it is the truth. I had a few times situation at the very beginning when people already got qualified, already getting to closing table tomorrow and receive the package and walk to the Bank of America just to verify, because they would talk to people at work and ask about it. People would say, no, it does not exist. It's a scam. Don't even go there. One of my first clients walked to the Bank of America, Taylor. He did not speak English, but Taylor was speaking Russian, and he gave this Taylor package. As you know, package from the bank is pretty thick, to read it and to advise him if it is true. He called me like 30 minutes later and he said, Liliya, how could you do it to me? It is impossible. And it is scam. I want my money back. I want to cancel everything. And when I calmed him down, he told me that he came up to Taylor, and Taylor looked through the paperwork and just in a couple seconds told him that, sorry, it says that in 12 and a half years, your interest rate will be over 10%. Oh, so I came over, we were sitting down with him, we were reading 86 pages package through the night. At 5 o'clock at the night, we finished reading all of it, and I had to translate every word. And we did not find anywhere in the package where it was saying 12 and a half years or 10%. So since then, he lives in NACA house. His interest rate is 0.125. And he purchased house at 250,000, and over 30 years, he would pay just 4,000 in interest on that house. Any more questions?
Yeah, I think and we all know that NACA is legitimate, right? But there's some really new agents on the call today. And so can you tell them roughly how many families you've helped using this specific program?
Last time I counted was end of 2019. It was 350 families. And last year it was additional, probably 20 families. And yeah, somewhere around close to 400 right now. And
That's
now,
what you teach in this class, y'all.
yeah, and literally, sometimes I feel like I'm so tired of it, and because NACA require a lot of additional work, a lot of your time, because you have to help client unless your client has financial degree or patience to work with paperwork, to go through all numbers. You have to spend more time than on regular financing. And unfortunately, it is what it is. NACA takes time. So negative side of NACA is extra time that you have to invest in buyer's qualification. NACA is qualifying buyer with full underwriting prior to the providing them with approval letter. It is not pre-qualification, it is not pre-approval, it is a full underwritten file with full underwriting. So when you receive a qualifying letter, it is already been through full underwriting. And literally, you have to only find the house where they will put their money. But average time from contract to close from 30 to 45 days. And 30 days is usually for new construction, and 45 days for resale. And the reason being, NACA is pro-buyer program. When we're talking about pro-buyer, they're doing everything possible to protect the buyer, including quality of the house, including buyers inspection. So they have a separate department, they call it hand department. They have a separate department who is reviewing inspection. Every single house must be inspected unless it is a new construction. And it is a new change in 2019. Up to the 2019, even new construction must be inspected. So when people do inspection, and I usually order inspection within the first 1 or 2 days as soon as we get under contract. So we will know the way our transaction will go. And what I mean is when we're talking about inspection, a buyer have to have money to do repairs. So inspection will have literally 2 parts. One part is required repair and another one suggested repairs. Everything on required repairs need to be done. And it could be done 2 ways. First, it is, and the most preferred, it is seller before the closing. Buyer is not allowed to spend money before the closing. So if seller would say, no, I'm not gonna do anything, even though my ceiling is fallen, it's not a problem, because NACA has a separate fund, like for repairs. And borrower can borrow money from that fund with no interest and have it built into the mortgage. But before the closing, before hand department give clearance, buyer has to have at least 2 or 3 quotes for each type of work, or 2 quotes from general contractor. And then hand department is supposed to review and say, yes, this is legitimate quote, or no, this quote is too much or too low. And then buyer have to put money aside at the closing to repair escrow account with, and money will be held by the attorney. After the closing, contractor of buyer's choice will come back to the property, do repairs, and as soon as inspector come back and review quality that is done, then contractor will be paid. And it is a reason why it takes extra time. On the new construction, because no repairs required, less time will be required.
Another question, with the current market the way it is, how likely are you getting NACA buyers present it to the sellers, or they even accept how do you present the loan to a seller with the NACA? Because it seems like it's a different format.
It is different, and if you go online and search, most likely you will find just negative reviews. Sometimes you can find positive reviews, and NACA learn about it, and now they have a NACA web page, and at the closing they get in every buyer interview and posting it online, so you can see it from a first hand from people who experienced and who went through the program. When I'm presenting my offer with NACA clients, I always explain to the seller that you see how many properties going under contract and come back because of financing fail. With NACA, we have a guarantee financing. I can go to any lender and get my client pre-qualified, pre-approved within 2-3 days. And then at the time of process or close to the end of the process, most of the time, people will get, oops, sorry, we did not see that you have, I don't know, extra 1099 income, or that your 1099 income was not long enough, or was not good enough, or oops, your employment history was too short, and we did not see it from the beginning, because they're doing it just a quick glance based on the information that buyer submitted on application. With NACA, we have qualified, approved buyer. So it is always easier to understand that if we have a house, if we go forward with repairs of a seller, it will speed up. If buyer has to do it, it will be slowing down, but we will close. Despite of anything else, I know 100% that we will close. Any more questions?
Well, hold on. Liliya, talk to us about how would you advertise the NACA financing alternative, because I know there's a specific way you can't really do classes or whatever. What does NACA allow you to do?
In the form of advertising?
Yeah.
I just saying that I'm NACA certified agent, and in order for agent to be NACA certified, you have to go to the CAB board and get your class and the C class. I can talk about specifics about NACA for hours, because there is so many little details, because it is much different compared to regular financing. If people never worked with NACA, they could get scared because of excessive details. If anybody has any specific questions, I would be more than happy to answer. If you have a buyer who is qualified for NACA program, then I can guide you through the process. One more thing that I start talking about and then got kind of carried away about qualification. So in order for buyer to be able to buy interest rate down to 0.125, buyer's income supposed to be below 80% of census. So they have kind of like 3 steps, 3 levels. Level number 1, it is 80% of census or less, when buyer can buy interest rate down for up till 0.125. And when they work with Citibank, Citibank is half of the interest rate of Bank of America, and the lowest you can go, it is 0.066%, which is basically absolutely free money. So if income is below 80% of census, you can buy anywhere and buy interest rate down to 0. If your income between 80% and 100%, you can still buy anywhere, but you're not limited with census map, but you need to be able to, I mean, you can buy interest just 1.5%, which is 5 or 6 points, which is a lot too, and helps a lot to the people. If your income is above 82,000 for today, which is 100% of census, you can buy in a specific maps on, I mean, in specific areas on the map, but still able to prepay interest for 5 or 6 points. And NACA still going to pay for your closing, and you still have no mortgage insurance. Everything else is still the same. One more thing that is usually people surprised about, it is zero mortgage insurance. And a lot of times I'm getting, when I'm explaining to my clients what zero mortgage insurance or what mortgage insurance stands for, they say like, okay, but then why does NACA not afraid of failure of the buyer not to pay the mortgage, which is mortgage insurance purpose to protect the bank if buyer fail. But NACA has NSF, Neighborhood Stabilization Fund, and Neighborhood Stabilization Fund protecting the bank, the same like a mortgage insurance, but a little bit different way. It is protecting the bank by covering buyers up to 3 months mortgage payments. The buyer in distress situation can apply for NSF fund, and Neighborhood Stabilization Fund is local money for NACA. From that fund, they're going to pay buyers, or at that time, homeowners, mortgage up to 3 months. After that, they're feeling like 3 months should be enough time for the homeowner to decide either to sell the house or to get back on the foot. Let's say single mom had a baby delivery and she cannot work for first 2-3 months, staying with baby. So in 3 months, she can decide who is going to take care of the child and go back to work. At that time, mom can start repaying borrowed money at her own pace. This money would be borrowed at 0 interest and could be repaid $5 a month, $10 a month, as much as you can afford. But it prevents people from losing houses. Over the time that NACA was working on the market, helping our buyers, they had less than 1% of foreclosures. And it says a lot for the stability of the buyers, or at that time homeowners, who is able to save their own houses. And instead of protecting the bank, NSF fund protecting the homeowners, which is stabilizing neighborhood, which is goal for NACA to stabilize neighborhoods. And another point, NACA is not first-time home buyers program. If you lived in NACA house for, I don't know, 5-7 years, you can sell it and apply to NACA and buy second house through NACA again. If you lived in any house and you own the property, you can sell this property and buy a new house through NACA. But NACA is owner-occupant program. This program is designed to help people to have their own roof over the head. It is not an investment program. It is not the program that will invest in people to make money. It is to help neighborhoods for ownership. Through NACA, you can buy single-family home, a duplex, triplex, which is considered multiple units, and you can live in one unit and rent out others. But as long as it is at one address, ABC units, you can still buy through NACA and have income property next to your door. At the same time, if you move out and rent out NACA's house, it is a fine, as NACA is designed just for owner-occupant. So I always emphasize multiple times to my clients that this is the time when you decide what is the purpose of the properties that you purchase. Is this a property for your family, or this is a property where you're planning to live for a year and move out and rent it out? If it is not for naka buyer. But if you're planning to live there for 3, 5, 7 years, whatever time is, greater than 3 years, I would say, it makes sense to invest money in interest rate buy down. It makes sense to go through the process to buy a house through naka.
I have a question, Liliya.
Mhm.
Is this a W-2? You have to be a W-2 employee or a 1099 employee or
Any W-2 or 1099.
cash?
Either one is good. Self-employment is good. And a
You
lot
have
of
to-
times,
I'm sorry. I'm just wondering, how do you have to have tax returns to prove?
yes, you have to have at least, no matter if W-2 or 1099, you need to have 2 years of tax returns. It is a must. And if it is a self-employment, let's say person opened a business in May of 2019. So in 2019 taxes, he already had 1 year, and then 2020. But they have to have this business established for 24 months at least, which means that they would be able to get qualified through naka not earlier than May of 21. So 24 months after the business established. And the way they qualify self-employed, it would be average income per tax return net, or for 2 years, or 12 months of income shown on bank statements. And they check in what is less. naka is everything on qualification about less. So if average in 24 months would be as an income, let's say 4,000 a month, but on the bank statements, person deposited just, I don't know, 3,000 a month, it would be 3,000 a month income qualifying, because they see it as a more cash work, but they are verifying everything. Like I said, full underwriting. And a lot of times when I had people who was going through regular financing with situation like that, underwriter would have a very tough time to qualify them based on taxes, because they start reviewing income from all different perspectives. And naka does it up front. So they check in 12 months of bank statements and 2 years of tax returns. For W-2, you have to have job for 2 years, but they qualify you on your current job. And if it is a W-2, let's say hourly income, then your current job on the base pay and average on overtime for the last 2 years, if you were working there for 2 years. If not, then they will not use overtime as a qualifier.
Does bankruptcy affect anything?
Bankruptcy, they use, you have to have 2 years after discharge. The same on short sales, the same on foreclosure, 2 years after the discharge. Any more questions?
Lily.
Mhm.
Hi. So I've been working with NACA myself. I was hired as a NACA counselor, and they wanted me to get rid of my license. So I didn't go through with it. But I'm trying to figure out how to get my clients set up initially, like the part about, do I upload their buyer's agreement?
Yes. When you go to NACA website,
Uh-huh.
on the top, it is vendor.
Okay.
Under the vendor, you go to real estate.
Okay.
And in the real estate, you scroll, you reading all these,
Okay.
their rules.
Okay.
And then you go down right here.
Okay. So I
If you,
register.
if you need to register, or if you already registered, like
Okay.
I'm here,
Okay.
and you logging in,
Okay.
and then you have your clients.
Okay.
And here on the bottom,
Oh, okay.
you need to add buyer's name, buyer's
Okay.
information,
Okay.
and it will not register this buyer under you unless you upload representation agreement.
Thank you so much. I've been calling them and everything trying to get this. Thank you.
Yeah, it is very simple and easy. However, when you register your clients, and I always try to do my best to register my clients for the NACA workshop, because to start working with NACA, buyer has to go through the workshop. And this is initial workshop. And let's say I can teach this workshop based on my experience and knowledge, but I cannot give a buyer NACA ID. But when I'm registering my clients with for NACA website, I mean workshop, I have their information and they sign buyer's brokerage agreement. So at the same time, I would go to this side and register them as my clients.
Okay.
One
Thank you so
thing that
much.
you,
That's very helpful.
one thing that you need to be careful about, NACA, and especially lately they start enforcing it. If you do not register your client under yourself, NACA will charge you. They would consider this client as a referral to you, and they will
Oh my
charge you
God.
35% of referral fee.
Oh, thank
So
you.
if you
So
are
what
not really, if you are not really willing to pay this 35% for nothing, I would definitely suggest to go and register. It will take much less time. It will be much cheaper.
Thank you. I appreciate you because I have quite a few people registered for the website, for the webinar, but I don't have anybody uploaded. So I'll do that today.
Yes.
One more question. Is there any like small print, like anything that I need to make the clients aware of that maybe I'm missing? Like, do they need to live in the home for a certain amount of time?
They
Does
need to live.
NACA have an interest in the property?
Yes and yes. So buyer, as I said, supposed to be, I mean, property is supposed to be owner occupied. So as long as buyer is occupying the property, they don't have any problem. If they move out and rented this property, they have a silent mortgage for $25,000 under the each property. But it is silent as long as a person is occupying this property. And when you sell it, it is just canceled. If owner,
no matter how long, even if you only owed it 1 year.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yes. You can sell it when you have to. It just, if you want to sell this house and buy through NACA again, then you have to have at least 3 years or preferably 5 years of ownership of the property.
Okay. Okay.
If you want to just, if you won a lottery and you want to pay it off tomorrow, it is no fine. It is no problem.
Okay.
If you want to refinance it, again, if you want to, if you were single when you're buying and you bought a little condo, and then you get married and you have kids, you cannot live in a condo with kids, then you can pay it off or refinance and keep it for yourself as investment and buy another property through any other lender.
Oh, you can keep it as an investment?
If you pay off,
if you pay
NACA
off.
loan.
Okay,
you
so
cannot
let me
keep
ask
it
you.
with NACA loan. You have to pay it off.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because my little sister's in this program. She owns a house, and I thought she had to sell it before she can close on a NACA house.
That
So-
is true. So if she wants, at the time of the purchase of
Mhm.
NACA house, you cannot have any other real estate on your name, despite of if it is inheritance or your personal, or you sign as a co-signer with somebody else. Your name cannot be on any real estate at the time of the purchase.
Okay,
However, you don't have to sell it in advance before buying. By the
Okay.
time of qualification, you have to produce your real estate agent, professional agent agreement for listing of the property. At the
Okay.
time of putting your bank application, which means when you find the house, you're under contract, and you are ready to complete your bank application with rate lock. At that
Okay.
time, you have to provide a proof that your property is on the market.
Okay.
But you have to close on the sale of your property at least 10 days prior to the closing date of NACA house.
Can you give it to a family member?
You cannot give it. You have to sell it for $1. You have to sell it.
Okay.
You have to have, not a
That's a
gift. You
transaction.
cannot give it.
Okay, got you. Thank you so much. That's very
Mhm.
helpful.
Sure. Any additional questions?
If you wanted to help someone with in a NACA program, you have to be a qualified NACA agent. Is that what I was hearing?
Yes, and the reason I would, even if they might not ask you for it, and it will depend on the local NACA office in Atlanta, they have their own real estate team. They have their own broker. And when your client is ready for to receive their qualification letter, which is basically after all qualifying process is done, you have to be able to guide your client. You have to know NACA specifics on the contract. You have to know NACA rules on the process, like how long each step will take and so on. And it is to your benefits to take this class. And it's just a one-time certification class, like a buyer's class. You have to have continuing education. For that one, you don't.
Hmm.
And one more thing, NACA is considered as a conventional loan. It is not FHA.
Oh, that's nice.
It is a conventional loan.
So we obtained this certification at the board?
Yeah, DeKalb board.
Okay.
It is in downtown Decatur, and you can just call them and ask or log into their website, and they have NACA classes.
Okay, so I took mine online. I don't know if it's because of
Yeah,
COVID.
right now everything is online.
Okay.
Right now, all NACA process is online. It used to be much easier to sign up your client for the workshop. Right now, it is a lot more complicated simply because, let me get there.
They're usually being about 2 months out. I think my next clients are for May.
It used to be. Right now, it is a little bit more complicated. And when you logging in, you scroll down and you have sign up here.
Mhm.
So in order for your client to start working with NACA, you have to register him for the workshop. And again, it used to be when you logging in, first thing that you see, it would be, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, it would be choose the date. Right now, date would be after you put people's information. Let's say I'm registering John Smith at 123 ABC 30082. Mobile care, email. Just after you put all this information, you can choose date and register for date and time. Unfortunately, when I'm using English, they have no open classes right now. They're overwhelmed.
Oh, wow.
So if I'm using Spanish, they have open classes.
Oh, wow.
So my last few clients had to find their friend who speaks Spanish to help them to get NACA ID. And again, I told them that I can explain to you a lot of stuff. I cannot give you NACA ID. So this workshop class is taking 4 hours. At the end of the 4th hour, they will be providing a code, and this code will be good just for 30 minutes after class is over. So they need to log into the website, and they're providing this website as a registration, and then use this code to obtain NACA ID. If you do not do it quickly enough or were not able to do it, you have to register for a new workshop again. You cannot call office and say, sorry, I missed it. I had it happen a few times. Unfortunately, it didn't help. But let's say if I'm choosing April 3rd, which is basically next week, Saturday at 1 o'clock, if I will click continue, it will send email to the registered person with invitation to the workshop. Hour or two before the workshop, they will send you email with invitation to go to meeting website or application, and it is when you would be able to do it. So right now it became a lot more complicated because of them, like I said, being overwhelmed. Last year it was every single Saturday, and few times like May, June, July, August, September. Last year they had they call it event, when you can log in to the website, and during the event you would be able to even get qualified in 1 or 2 days. An event was from Thursday through Sunday or from Friday through Monday. So it was very convenient, but again, it would be just accomplishment for one step or both steps. It depends how well you are ready. But in order to do for both steps, which is get NACA ID and to get qualified, you cannot do it at the same day, because you have, in order for you to upload paperwork to NACA website, you have to have already NACA ID, upload all paperwork, and then you would be able to do to meet with the counselor and basically schedule an appointment with the counselor.
One of the things I like that they told me is that after I bring on 3 of my own clients and have 3 successful transactions, they'll then make me a referral agent, and they'll start referring their people to me.
Honestly, with all closings that I had, I did not receive any single referral.
You didn't?
I did not. And all work that I put, yes, if you work with them as a on-site NACA agent in office, they're referring people to you after they've been qualified.
Okay.
When I am bringing my own client, I have to spend a lot of time with him or her or them being qualified.
Mhm.
And after all my time investment, if I have to pay NACA 25% for nothing,
Mm.
I honestly don't really feel like.
Exactly. Okay, that makes sense.
But if you don't have clients and you register as a NACA referral client, I mean agent, they maybe can give it to you. I registered as NACA agent for referral. I mean, as agent for NACA referrals from day one. It was 2006. I have never received any referrals. However, last year, maybe because they were all completely overwhelmed, they start contacting me every week, sometimes multiple times a week, if I want to register as a NACA referral agent. So I said, no, thank you, because I had a lot of people in my pipeline, and I was afraid if I would register as a NACA referral agent, how would they determine and would they charge me for every transaction, not just for people who they refer formally. So I choose not to accept it last year. But for all years, they never gave me any contacts. Okay, here it is. On the other hand, what I experienced, a few people approached me after they were working with NACA agent. And I cannot say that it's 100% true. Maybe they had a bad experience. I don't know. But when people approached me after working with NACA agent, they said that they had the situation where agent would invite them to the office, sit down in front of computer, go through the MLS listings, ask to choose 3 property to view, and then they had to put an offer on one of these 3. It is not my style. I cannot do that like this. I don't feel like showing people 3 houses. It is all it takes. For some people, 1 house is enough, but I cannot have it as a business model. So if your clients would like to go to NACA website and click on the purchase program, they can read all about, and as well as agents, qualifications, eligibility criteria. This is first step. This is second step. Prepare for after your first step to get your NACA ID at the workshop. Second step, to get ready for the appointment with counselor. And then it is a few more steps. However, the most important, in my opinion, is 100% to be ready for your first appointment with counselor. As well as you're ready, it will create less comeback follow-up appointments. And they have very good manuals, what you need to do and what documents required on their website. And people can see, let's say, if they want to have house, not based on a monthly payment, but based on the purchase price. And a lot of times a regular buyer will not think about purchasing house with a monthly payment. They're thinking about, oh, can I buy house for $250? May I buy house for $500? What is my qualification? This calculator, if you switch from desired payment to desired purchase price, you can calculate it from there. Let's say 300,000 house. If it is single family, or it is duplex, triplex, quadruplex, let's say it is single family, and monthly insurance is, I don't know, $80, HOA fee $30, your monthly payment is $1,655. the way they would qualify you, it would be if your income, let's say 50,000 a year, divided by 12, it is 41.66 a month, and they would take whatever is less. 40% of income less, 1 second. Okay. Do you see one calculator or 3 calculators?
One.
Okay, I'm just trying to change it so you can see multiple. Don't know how to do that. Usually it is not complicated. Okay, anyway, so if your income is, let's say, 60,000 a year, we're dividing it by 12 months. Let's say person is W2. Then we're taking 40% of this income. It is 2,000. Let's say person has a car which pays, I don't know, $250 a month. We have left $1,750. And person has a credit card debt that is minimum payments on all credit cards is $130. So total left from 40%, $1,620. Then if we're saying that a person has 60,000 a year divided by 12, but has no debt, it would be 31% of income, which is $1,550. And third option is rent. Let's say person is paying $1,300 a month. So $1,300 a month for rent is a third number. If we're saying that 40% less debt is $1,620 and 31% is $1,550, but rent is $1,300, then this person cannot afford be qualified for more than rent amount. However, if person is saving money every month, let's say $300, and he can demonstrate saving pattern for 3 months of $300, then it would be additional to the rent, which would give us 1,300 rent plus $300. It is 1,600. So 1,300 plus 300, it is giving us 1,600. Then we have one of three, again, whatever is less. And one of three, whatever is less, would be either 300 plus 1,300 per month, which is 16 rent, or 40% less debt, 1,620, or 1,550, which is 31%. So a person cannot be qualified for more than lowest out of three numbers. In this case, they would be qualified for 1,550. So the NACA is always about whatever is less. They try not to overqualified people. Any more questions, guys? All right, if you have any additional questions, you know how to find me. My phone number is 678-481-4486. Or time to time lately, I've been in my office, which is fishbowl behind our office meeting room, which means the office with a glass wall.
I'm sorry, was that 678?
481-4486.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so looking forward for you guys to work with NACA if you have qualifying buyers. And the most important of today's class, don't be scared of NACA. Don't be afraid. Just do it. All right. Bye. I'm sorry it took me more time than I was explaining to.
Thank you.
You're welcome.